If you are looking for a job or are concerned that you may be soon, then you need to watch this video. It was just a few days ago. I came across a number and I checked it 3 times because I didn't believe it, to be honest with you. Fewer than one job application in 1,000 on LinkedIn leads to a hire. One job application to 1,000. That is not a critic's guess or my guess. That comes from LinkedIn's own publishing hiring data. Roughly 11,000 applications go into the platform every single minute. And in that same minute, 6 to 8 people get hired. So if you are over 50, sitting at your, kitchen table tonight, about to send application number 200 into that machine, I need you to hear me clearly. You're not failing. You're feeding a machine that was never built to hire you. Today I'm going to show you what LinkedIn has actually become. Real numbers, named sources. And then I will show you what to do instead. If we have not met before, I'm Max, and I lost my corporate job at 56 and built my own path instead. On this channel, we deal with work, money, and reinvention after 50, but anybody really is welcome. We talk honestly about things with no sugarcoating, so let's get into it. First, let's start with that number. 11,000 applications a minute. I mean, that's just incredible. So that's maybe 6 to 8 hires a minute. This is LinkedIn's own data. Now, the question is really, is that the whole story? And I'm afraid to say the answer actually is no. Plenty of hiring still happens through people, referrals, connections that we all have on LinkedIn. But that ratio tells you exactly what your odds look like inside that machine we call LinkedIn. And it tells you why the standard advice, apply more, apply faster, click easy, apply on everything, is mathematically dead. More volume into a funnel like that does not change your odds. It just burns your evenings, it kills your time, kills your motivation. And if you've been looking for a job recently, then you know how bad it is out there without these kind of numbers against you. But then you see, now it gets worse. Resume Genius, who are a career research firm, analysed using government hiring data. They're finding roughly 30% of job postings never result in a hire at all for anyone. Not they picked someone younger, and we talk about ageism a lot on this channel, but nobody actually got the job because in many cases there was never a job. We've talked about it before on the channel. These are called ghost jobs. Companies post them to look like they are growing. It helps their bottom line. It impresses the stockholders. Yeah? But they also want to collect a bank of resumes for later too. Sometimes it's maybe to keep their own staff nervous. I would hope not, but it happens. And the BBC reported the same analysis found as many as 1.7 million of these ghost listings on LinkedIn in the US alone. But here's why this matters so much for us. When you are over 50 and you hear nothing back, you know what you do. You blame yourself. You blame your age maybe. Too many grey hairs. So what do? You rewrite the resume again. I'm sure many of you have been there. And sometimes the truth is simpler and honestly uglier. There was no job. There was never going to be a phone call. Look, to put it simply, you weren't rejected. basically you were harvested. They were gathering information from you. And if you thought it couldn't get any worse, well, it can, because there is a third problem, and this one is new. In June, the intelligence agencies of 5 countries, the United States, the UK, Australia, Canada, and New Zealand, published a joint warning called Safeguarding Our Secrets. Their finding? Foreign intelligence services are running fake recruiters on LinkedIn. And to look at them, you wouldn't know. The profiles are polished. They sound like real firms, real companies, and flattering messages maybe to you about your experience. And there was one single fake job advert that pulled in more than 400 resumes. Most of them from people with government and military backgrounds, go figure. But think about who the ideal target is. Now, let me think for a second. Do they want a 20-year-old with a very short, shallow resume? Or maybe someone with a longer career, longer resume, more details, better contacts maybe, more contacts, deeper contacts, decades of inside knowledge? You kind of see where I'm going here with this? They're not looking for a recent grad or anything like that. They want you and me, the older people with bigger contacts, like I mentioned, more contacts, I should say, like I mentioned. Maybe more information from a company that you worked for, hence the military and government. So here is a plain rule. A real recruiter will survive being checked. Look the person up outside LinkedIn. Even call the company's main line and ask if the job exists. But never send your date of birth, your address history, or any document until you have verified the human. And honestly, if checking them kills the conversation, then it was a trap. It was a setup. So, what do we do with all of this? Delete the profile and shout to the sky or scream, go crazy? No, there's no need to do that. LinkedIn is a directory. Use it like a directory. That's how it was when LinkedIn first started. It was meant to be a way for you to be able to connect with other people. So use it that way. Look people up. Be findable. And stop treating it like a lottery ticket. Because, and here's the real point of this video, once you accept that the machine was not built for you, you stop asking, what is wrong with me? And start asking a much better question. What do I actually do with the next 10 years? And that question has 2 honest answers, 2 doors, and both of them are real. And the best thing about it, they're both yours. Now, door 1. If you want a job or need one, I am not going to talk you out of it. Wanting a paycheck is not a failure of imagination, but the way you look for it has to change, because we just did the math on the old way. Now, there are 3 moves. Move 1, stop just applying to everything. We're all guilty of it. We get, I don't want to say desperate, but we get to a point where nothing ventured, nothing gained, right? Stop it. 5 applications a week, researched, verified, aimed, beat 50 fired into the void. Move 2, verify before you invest. Before you go and give a posting your evening, check the company's own careers page. Most companies advertise the jobs on their website. Find a person's name, if you can, that's attached to the company and to the role that they're looking to serve or hire. If you can't verify it, don't waste your time. Move on. Now, move 3, upgrade the toolkit. The portals gave employees power tools and gave you a search box. That gap is closing. There are better ways about looking for a job, but you just got to be more precise about what you're looking for. But you need to verify it, as I mentioned before. And I'll be straight with you here. This is exactly the problem I have been working on for the last few months. There'll be an announcement in Thursday's video, so make sure if you haven't already to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to get notified for when that video comes out. Now, the second door. And this one is actually the one that I walked through, what I decided to do. And as many of you know, my job ended at 56. I never sent a single application, not one, because I knew what it was like out there. I know how difficult it is to get an interview. Forget getting a job. So I started this channel instead, which I would never have imagined doing before, but I did. And at 56, with no experience, I just pressed record and, well, here I am over a year later. And before you tell me that it's not realistic, we are the fastest growing group of new founders in the country. You saw the stats in my previous videos, and if you haven't seen them, I go and check out the last two videos where I talk about how the 55 plus age group accounts for 25% of new founders. And that is not an accident. It is 30 years of skills, contacts, and judgment finally working for you, the person who's earned it the most. Reinvention does not have to mean a startup, though. It can be consulting on what you already know, freelancing. Maybe you've got a skill or a trade that you can use to earn money and not work for the big man. Or maybe you can go into teaching or some kind of work which involves teaching. You've got the experience. Here's the thing. Every hour you spend feeding LinkedIn that ignores you is an hour you could have spent building something that cannot ignore you because you own it. And I've said this before now. Starting this channel and my business has been life-changing for me, absolutely life-changing. But it took me being let go from my old job to do it. And there may be plenty of you out there who are stuck in a job also, but are afraid to do it or are simply unable to do it. But anyway, let me land this where it matters. The system is not broken by accident. In fact, it works exactly as designed. It is just not designed for, well, let's just say you. And that is not a reason to despair. It's information. And now you have it. You get to choose. Work the system smarter or step out of it and build your own. Both are completely valid. It's your life. What you do with it is up to you. But both take courage as well. And I can talk to that from experience. But honestly, when I lost my job last year, just the thought of resumes and interviews, or maybe no interviews, and the desperation and the feeling of rejection, not for me. The only wrong answer is another year of feeding the machine and blaming yourself for the results. If you are job hunting, take one application you're about to fire into the void and spend that hour on yourself instead. And if some part of you has been circling around reinvention, write down the one thing you would build if nobody could ghost you. You are not a number in someone else's funnel, so stop acting like one. Now, if this was useful, consider subscribing, because we are back to 2 videos a week from now on. And I will see you all on Thursday, hopefully. Until then, cheers.